Welcome to another session. And in this exercise, we're going to be using Maya 2022 to create a Lego block. So you probably seen a lot of Lego blocks out there when you were little, or as you got older, definitely in middle school or kindergarten. So what we're going to do is replicate a Lego, but not with the hollow shell. I mean, there's so many different ones out there. So what we're going to do is try to get something that actually kind of would resemble, like here we got Lego, but we're not going to use the Lego logo on there. We're going to put our own logo. Like for example, I'm going to use GSA. So what I always recommend to students, and that's at the high school level, even at the college level, if you're going to replicate something, if something's on your mind, try to see if there's actual dimensions. Out there, so you can kind of use that as a reference. Example, you like for example, like I'm gonna look at Lego blocks, so I'm gonna look up dimensions. So here you have all different types of dimensions here. So I have, I have the length, the width. So I'm gonna use that to help me out. Now remember, for some reason, there's always different types of dimensions out there. So you're not gonna be perfect in everything you do. So you're going to try to get as close as possible. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the modeling menu and I'm going to click on my polygon right here, and it's cube. I'm using the cube, also known as a box. And in this case, I'm trying to create just a Lego brick, a regular Lego brick. So I'm looking at and I'm looking at everything in millimeters. Even though the grid is set for centimeters, I'm going to say everything in millimeters. So I'm looking at 16 by 16. So width, 16. Now that's huge, right? There's a big block, but hey, that's okay because we always scale it down, right? So depth, 16. Okay. So, all right. I'm good. And the height was 9.6. Now you notice I'm not moving the block. I'm leaving as is. So what we're going to do, we're trying to do something that resembles this. So I got a diameter of 5. Between the center and center here is 8 distance. So I got the 16, got a 9.6. So far, so good. Okay. And keep in mind, we can always duplicate that to create that 4-piece. So anyway, here we go. Now I want to, it looks like I need to create the little circles at the top. So I want to make sure everything's like perfect. Okay, so I'll go into my 4 menu, my 4 views, and I'm going to look at the top, not the size. I'm going to look at the top. And I'm going to go into wireframe. And what I want to do is add a cylinder. All right, now there's my cylinder. It's kind of small, so I need this kind of big. So remember, my diameter is 5. So here your radius is 1. So my diameter, of course, boom. And I want to make this round right away, right? So my subdivisions. Now some people would leave it the way it is and then smooth it out later. So it doesn't matter. I'm just creating a block. And of course, subdivisions caps, set that to 0. Why? Because I want to put my logo on top of it. Now I want to move it. Now that means I'm going to take a look at this. And you notice I didn't mess with the height yet. Okay, I didn't mess with the height yet because you know it's supposed to be 1 millimeter off the block. So that means I probably could make it as long as I want, but 1 millimeter off the block. And the reason why I'm saying this is because over here you have like, you can barely see them, so I'll leave a little nudge. So, and then you can see in this dimension, there's nothing there. So all I know is it needs to be 1 millimeter off the nudge. So anyway, here we go. So I'm going to center this. So let's move it over. All right. And as I'm doing this, I'm looking at the translate. Okay. Look at translate. So see where I'm at. And I want to kind of center it. Now, some people would say, well, I'll use snap to grid. Yeah, but I want it to be like center, not like on the actual Y here, Y there, because then it's not center. So I'm looking at here. I'm like, this looks kind of good. So let's say, what does this look like if I say if it's a 5? Like it's off to the right. So 4.5. Hey, that looks dead center. You know, actually, no, not really. Got a line year. So 4.25. Would that be it? Would that be it? Let's see. Line there, edge. Gotta think this through. Because then I gotta look at the top. So I got minus 4.5. No, minus 4.25. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So it should be a 4. So it should be at the 4, it should be right down the middle. All right. So that means 4, negative 4. So right down the middle. All right. So in other words, I use simple math, or you could try to figure it out, but I got 4 right down the middle. Now, if that's the case, I'm going to duplicate it and go to the other side. Now look to translate, right? Look at the X. All right, go to the other side. So this will be minus 4. All right, and then of course going down, shift. All right, well, I'm holding the shift key, selecting both of them. Forgot to duplicate. Control D to duplicate. Bring it down. Now look where I'm at. Like you can see to the right side, right? Look at this. So I need to be around 4. So I'll just type in 4. And make sure this is at 4 too. All right. So I got this. So if I wanted to see what this looks like, oops. You're saying, well, I don't see anything because it's flushed in. Okay, it's flushed in. So if I click on this, it's inside. So what I want to do is raise it up. So I'm going to highlight it and I raise it up. Now I'm looking for I want to highlight just the cylinders and raise it up. There you go. Now remember, I'm just looking at 1 unit up. Okay, because remember before it was just 1 block up. All right, so this is like 9.6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9.6. So I want to be 1 unit up. So I'm already there. I don't want to be too high. I just want to be right there. There's like a 9.6. Okay, so 9.6. Hey, that's not bad. Look, it's looking pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. So now if I wanted to move it a little bit more, it's up to you. Like make it flex like right on the line. That'd be fine. Because you got to remember, this is wireframe. And if I'm looking at it from the side, this is how far it is underneath. Okay. This is how far it is underneath. So anyway, I got my thing at the top. I got my little notches, got my block. But now I want to see underneath it. I want to get underneath it. Yeah. Let's get underneath it. Boop, poof. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to do go into face mode, highlight the bottom face, Control E to extrude. And then I'm going to use the scale tool to shrink it. And what I'm going to do is, and I'll go into here because I remember the block, it's like a 1. It's like a 1. So it's like 1 unit. So if I'm shrinking it, so I'm like, right about there. Okay, you're gonna have, we're gonna do it right about there. We're shrinking it right there. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's go back. That's pretty good. And then I'll do a Control E again, and I'm gonna move it up. Okay, and I'm gonna move it just a little bit where you can see the nudge. Okay, so it's not too much, but just enough you can see the nudge. All right, so it makes like an imprint. Okay, does that make sense? Just make sure everybody's okay with that. It makes an imprint. So you can see it's like just not enough. Now, some people would make this longer. You can, but I didn't. So I just made an imprint. Now, of course, at the top, you need that notch underneath. Okay, remember that notch underneath? That's that like that thing that kind of shows up in the middle. So what I'm going to do is create another cylinder. All right. And of course, the radius of that was, what was it, 2.5? All right. So, and you can see what it does, right? We're making everything like So it's snug in there. So we're gonna need to make that a little bit bigger. So let's say my caps is 0. We're gonna make sure it's where it is, and we'll make sure the subdivision's 50. Makes a nice round. But radius, let's make it. Yeah, that'll be close. That's good. Yeah, that'll be good. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna stretch this out, scale. Okay, and we'll raise it up a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We're not going through the line, well, through the top, just the bottom. So we kind of had it blend in, and you notice that covering, it's not touching any of the other circles whatsoever. It looks like it is, but it's not. It really isn't. So if I wanted to see what it would look like up here, like, yeah. And then I'm gonna go into face mode. I'm already face mode. Control E, extrude. All right, shrink it up. All right, so I'm looking at right here, and then I'm gonna raise it up. Control E, extrude again. All right, so then I got a nice little block. Go to object mode, see what it looks like. What does it look like so far? Pretty close, not bad. Now I want to get those little notches. One of those little notches that come up like to kind of help it stay snug. So that means I need to create another block. Okay. I'm gonna move it to the side. Right here. And then of course, scale it. Okay. And I don't want it, bring this up. I don't want it to like touch, right? So remember, I'm looking at here, it's not touching. Okay, so don't get confused. So I want it to be like right at the bottom, but I want this to go up because I don't want to see any like any gaps or anything. So let's go right here, right through. And what is the measurement on that? I'm in scale. 9.35. That's not bad. Then I'll just duplicate. It looks good. It looks good. So what I'm going to do is let's look at it over here. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's not sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at it from the top. All right. So I got it here. So I want to move it right about there. So it's snug. Okay. And I probably could make this a little thinner. All right. Now I'm just eyeing it right now. I'm just eyeing it right now. So it makes snug. And I'm looking at where it should be at. So if I'm looking at this, that's a, try to pick a good number. So let's see if I pick a 2. That would be a 2. 1.85. No, 2.25. That's not bad. It's not touching. It's not bad. It's snug. So 2.25, and I'm moving at 6.53. So let me copy this. So duplicate. Duplicate. All the way to the other side. I want to make sure it's not touching. Okay. And then I'll click, duplicate, bring it down. Okay, shift. I hope I didn't move that. Duplicate, move that up. So if I did everything okay, everything should be fine. And then of course, I'll pick one of these and rotate it. And rotate it 90 degrees. Try my best to be kind of nice, even dimensions. Reason why, because hey, you never know when you need to kind of redo this and you want to give it to the intern or somebody who needs to get this done, okay, and and then you hold the shift key and you just give them dimensions and they could just redo it. So here we go. All right, so it looks like I got everything here. Yep. So it looks like I got everything here. So and bing bing. I think we're missing some. I think we probably get one there and one there. You guys think? So one there, one there, one there. Yeah. So duplicate. Duplicate. All right. Shift. Duplicate. Yeah. I think it was pretty good. So if I look underneath it, yep, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I'm creating a Lego, and then now I'm going to pretty much put my mark on here. So I'll go into my 3D text, and I'll type in, of course, JSA. And then what I'll do is I'll rotate this at 90 degrees. All right, rotate it like instead of freehand. Oops. I was telling my folks, stop trying to do it freehand. Minus 90 degrees. All right. And then, of course, I'll shrink it up. But I need it above one of those circles. And I just need it. Right? Yeah, perfect. Right there, just enough. So then I'll look at it from the top and shrink it up. So just the right side because it's at the right height. Now, again, a lot of folks will, and I'm looking at how it is set up here. Duplicate. Duplicate. They didn't want to duplicate that. Shift. Duplicate. Now, some folks would create the notch and then duplicate it and everything. It just depends. It depends who you are. Everybody does something totally different. Where's my text at? Text. Bring that up so it passes through. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to click on this, hold the shift key, and then go to mesh, select Booleans, and do a difference. Now, when you do this the right way, this is what it looks like. Nice carved in. If you do the other way, the whole block would disappear. So always click whatever should stay is what you click in first. That's the parent. Hold the shift key. Whatever you click last is what's going to be carved into. Mesh, Boolean, difference. Nice. Mesh, Boolean, difference. Nice. Mesh, Boolean, difference. There you go. All right. So that's carved in. And pretty much it. So what I'll do is I'll highlight everything. And I'll go to Mesh, Combine. All right. And I'll create a floor. Because I always tell my students, whenever you want to put anything in color, always try to put a floor because, you know, color, light needs to reflect off something. Okay. So I got a floor. I don't need a background because I'm going to look close. And I'm going to click on my big piece here, shrink it up, raise it up a little bit. All right. Then, of course, I'll add lighting, a little area light, and I'll raise it up. Now, you guys are probably wondering what it looks like right now. I didn't even apply color yet, right? Everybody's like, you didn't even apply color yet. So here we go. Okay, have it up a little bit. And then I'll add color. So I'll click on my block, right mouse click, add new material, click on Arnold, AI standard surface. Now, some folks will go to presets. You can. Let's click on plastic. All right. And of course, default color. I like that maroon color. I like the hot red, actually red right there. All right. So I got a nice little red here going. Okay. And let's see what my preview looks like. Now, a lot of folks are like, hey, you don't see anything. Do you have the play mode on? Yes, I do. Play mode is on. And what do? Shrink it up. It's because my exposure. Okay, well, it's not necessarily my exposure, my lighting. Like I have it, I'll set it to 5. You can kind of see something, but if I bring my exposure up, there you go. My lighting, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. And there's my block. So now the thing is, if you want to duplicate it, let's duplicate this, right? Just a couple times. Okay. And I'll rotate it this way. Okay. And I'm gonna put this over to the side. And what I'm doing, the reason why I'm rotating it is because I want to make it look like it's like natural. And of course, it has to be above the block. Okay. And this is a little bit below. And then I'll create another one, duplicate. And I'll rotate it the other way. All right. And of course, that's 90 degrees. Now you're probably thinking, why is it the same color? No, we're not going to make it the same color. We're going to change it. And then we'll rotate it the other way. Just a little bit. So it looks like it's just black. So I'll make this yellow. Assign new material. Arnold, AiStandard surface. And the preset. Let me see. I'm trying to think. I have a preset. Preset, plastic, replace, change that to yellow, and then change this to blue, assign new material, Arnold, AiStandard surface, preset, change this one to blue. Okay. And that should do it. That should do it. So I'm zooming in a little bit, get nice lights. Because I always tell students, like, hey, what does it look like when everything's all crazy, this and that? So I'm looking at this. We should be good. And if I bring this over, oops, I didn't want to do that. And I hit play, and there you go. All right. So I got my block, and if I want to increase the exposure on that, let's go back to lighting. Where's my lighting? There's my exposure. Bring it up to 8. Oh, that's way too bright. Way too bright. Yeah. 6.5 would do. All right. So that's not bad. So it gives you this shadow. And again, I'm not messing around with the texture. There's a little noise. So if I actually had to render it, nice, crisp picture. But hey, that's how you create a Lego block. Now keep in mind, if you wanted to make other pieces, like you could have just joined these 2 pieces together, and it would give you that 4-piece, well, that 8-piece Lego block. You could have cut this in half, and when you cut it in half here, would go straight down to the midpoint here. That creates that nice little block that's at an angle. So you use your imagination to make a lot of different Lego blocks. So anyway, that's it for this lesson. You can see that this is actually still rendering, and it's nice and smooth. Little noise, but there you go on creating a Lego block. So I'll see you in the next session where we'll be working